Hey, I hope you're continuing to join me in prayer at noon every day. There's all sorts of various prayer helps that are out there, and some we're sending out prayer requests at the bottom of our letters and in various other ways, and also you can pray creatively. But I hope that you're joining us every day. There's just something powerful in knowing that it's not just you praying, but there's the people maybe you're gathered with in that room, but all over our city and even people in other states as far away as Alaska. I have heard from people who are praying with us. And that's just really cool to know that we are lifting up our voices and we are praying to God and asking for the same things at the same time. It's just this wonderful picture of the church visible and invisible, all gathered together before God, lifting up things to Him. I mean, there's tremendous power in that, even if it's just the power of knowing that you're not alone, knowing that you are surrounded with people who are having the same feelings and the same trust in God that you are. And it's that trust in God and knowing that God is in control that is really why we're praying every day at noon. Part of it is to offer up our prayers to God, but also part of it is to root us in a different reality. I'll be honest, I am staying as far away from social media as I possibly can. I'm trying to stay away from the 24-hour news cycle. It is just crazy making. Because no matter what they say, it's sensationalism sells. And there's only 2 or 3 sources that I really want to find out things from, because they're the only 2 or 3 sources that really know what's going on. So this is an opportunity, even if you're glued to your screen all day long, no judgment, but this is an opportunity at least once a day to be rooted in a deeper reality. Because the reality that God lives in, the reality that God calls us to live in with Him is deeper than anything that you're going to hear on the news. And it is more real than any of the ups and downs of the stock market. And so once a day, we have a chance to root ourselves in reality. And prayer connects us with God, but so do the scriptures. And we picked Psalm 91 because the richness of the language about God's care and concern and presence with Him. So we talked about the first couple of verses of Psalm 91, and I want to read the next couple to you and then talk a little bit about those. Psalm 91, beginning in verse 3. Surely He will save you from the fowler's snare and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. You will not fear the terror of night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the plague that destroys at midday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. You will only observe with your eyes and see the punishment of the wicked. There's a couple of things that I want to bring up to you there. First of all, Psalms are wide-ranging. There's a lot in there that is not necessarily applicable to our certain situation, but there's a lot that is. And rather than just picking and choosing verses, I had us read it all. It's all the Word of God. But the first observation that I want to make is that this is not trying to make us live in an altered reality. When it talks about, you don't need to worry about this or that or the other thing. Because the things that it's naming, the plague, the pestilence, the terror, all of those things are real. I mean, that's why the psalmist names them, because they're out there. And there are viruses that are out there. In addition to the COVID-19, there's also been a terrible flu and cold season. And there are other bad things that are out there. Cancer is still out there. So the pestilence exists and it's real. But what the psalm is helping us to be rooted in is that none of those things have the final word. Even if we suffer with those things, we're given this image of God being present with us and knowing that even if the worst happens, it's never the worst for us. God always has another word beyond what that is for us. So even if you're sick, even if you've got cancer, if you've got the coronavirus, if you've got the terrible flu, or if you're suffering with allergies that like I am, there's still this rootedness in the presence of God, that God is with us and God is taking care of us. And that's all in that language about faithfulness and shield and rampart and presence. But there is this wonderful image in there. Jesus picks up on it in another way. The psalmist writes, he'll cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. This wonderful picture of protection. And this is, I don't know whether it's male or female, when Jesus picks this up, he's talking about how God cares for us like a mother hen guards her chicks. So either way it works. But what I think of when I read this is when guys become dads for the first time. Anybody can become a father. It's not really all that hard. But it takes some effort to be a dad. And I love when guys become dads and I see them with their kids, because they can be this rough and tumble, people. They can be hardcore business people. They can be, I don't know. But you get them around their kids, and there's this tenderness that comes out. And I love watching that. And that's the picture that I get. There is this strong God, who's being pictured like an eagle or something here. This strong God who tenderly puts his arm around us and covers us so that nothing can harm us. And I get the picture of when I first became a dad, and I'm holding, little Rachel in my arms, and I'm protecting her the best that I can. And that's the image that we have of God. There's all this stuff that's going on, but we rest secured because God is covering us underneath his wings.